The Armstrong family appeared to have it all together. They were your typical Southern family who loved family, sports, and faith. But on one tragic night, two family members were murdered. Investigators are honestly unsure if this was by the hands of a stranger or someone within the family sleeping upstairs. This is a case of Donna and Antonio Sir Armstrong. Hey guys, I'm Leya Nicole. If you're new, welcome. So for today's case, I'll be talking about the Armstrong family and really talking about this long trial centered around AJ Armstrong. The Armstrong household was known as a highly esteemed all-American family within their community. Antonio Armstrong was born and raised in Houston, Texas, and he pursued his college education by receiving a full scholarship to attend Texas A&M to play football and was recruited by the NFL. As an exceptional football player, he showcased his talents for the San Francisco 49ers and several other teams, mainly excelling in his defensive role. In the late 90s, he crossed paths with his future wife, Donna, at their local church. Now, when they first met, Donna was already expecting a child from a previous relationship. Although the biological father was absent, Antonio really didn't care. He wholeheartedly embraced the responsibility of caring for her, accompanying her to her OBGYN appointments and her unborn son as if he was his very own. They later tied the knot, and Antonio gave his last name to her son as well without hesitation. Donna and Antonio were blessed with two children of their own, namely Antonio Jr., known as AJ Armstrong, and Kaya Armstrong. But before we jump into today's case, I want to thank MD Hair for sponsoring today's video. We all know when it comes to hair, it can either make you or break you, especially with our overall appearance. We all desire to feel confident knowing our hair is healthy and growing nicely. And with MD Hair, you can definitely achieve that. MD Hair is the world's first medical grade hair growth treatment customized to each individual's hair loss type. Using AI technology, MD Hair analyzes quiz results and scalp photos to provide a personalized treatment kit with the right ingredients for each person's unique needs. I personally find it extremely fascinating to have my scalp analyzed by artificial intelligence. It's amazing to think about how far technology has come. It's almost like having your own personal hair consultant. Customers receive unlimited access to one-on-one chat support with a dermatologist, as well as free adjustments to medication formulations. My kit included like shampoo, serum, and various supplements. My favorite thing about MD's hair offering is that everything comes in a single convenient kit. I absolutely love using MD Hair as someone who has always struggled with my hair. After using the products, I noticed a significant improvement in my hair's texture and volume. Like, look how full my hair looks. But what impressed me the most was that my hair didn't like feel dry after using the products. Instead, it retained moisture, which was a huge plus for me. Overall, I highly recommend MD Hair to anyone who's having hair concerns or just want to have healthier hair like myself. It's been a great experience for me, and I think you'll love it too. MD Hair is offering an amazing discount of 70% off the first monthly kit with full-size products, so be sure to click on my link below in my description box and use my promo code Leya70 to get your first month of customized products. So let me know when you receive your first MD Hair kit. Thank you so much MD Hair for sponsoring today's video, and let's jump into today's case. A power couple. They were both successfully focusing on personal training, motivational speaking, and health. They really contributed to their community in Southwest Houston. jointly owning a public gym named First Class Training in Bel Air, Texas. They also resided in Bel Air, Texas, known as an excellent city for families. So it was an ideal environment to nurture their 3 children. Each child received an exceptional education in prestigious private schools while also dedicating themselves to various sports. Josh engaged in basketball and played football in college. AJ pursued football in high school, and Kyra played volleyball in school as well. The Armstrong family embodied, the perfect, well-structured African American family. However, we will soon discover underlying family issues that sadly turned into a tragic event. On a summer night in July 29th, 2016, around 1:40 a.m., Donna and Antonio Armstrong was killed. They were both shot while they were sleeping. 16-year-old at the time, AJ Armstrong, heard the gunfire and called 911 immediately. Responders rushed out to the house, and when police arrived, the security system was still intact. No one had entered or left the house for hours, leaving this case surrounded by mystery. Now, the master bedroom was located on the 2nd floor, and Kyra was down the hallway. AJ had a room loft on the 3rd floor where he shared with his older brother Josh, but Josh that same week moved out and got an apartment only a few minutes away from his parents' house. Now, when everyone went away to bed, AJ was still up on his phone talking to his girlfriend. And around 1:40 a.m., AJ called 911 and told dispatchers he heard gunshots and noticed that his parents' bedroom door was open. Now, when you listen to the audio, the dispatcher asked him, did he need medical attention? And he said yes. And throughout the phone call, the dispatcher asked AJ if the gunshot sounded like a handgun, rifle, or shotgun. He expressed to the dispatcher that he's not good with guns, but I guess, he said. He doesn't know, and he's 15. So police arrived at the scene, and AJ turned off the security alarm to let them in. Antonio was shot in the head and had a faint pulse. Dawn was shot 2 times in the head. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Antonio was taken to the hospital, but he later died. Officers walked in the kitchen. They saw kitchen drawers open and saw a notepad and pen on the kitchen counter with a note saying, "I've been watching you for some time. You get me?" Now, the note, the person who wrote it actually wrote over it a few times, almost like trying to prevent people from noticing the handwriting. There was also a gun right next to the note that was actually registered under Antonio Sir's name. After the crime scene was evaluated, they realized that the killer first went to attack Dawn, shooting her twice in the head first, and then killing Antonio. The crime scene was very gruesome, and the way they both were killed seemed very personal. The home security system in the house had sensors on every single door and motion detectors to catch movement inside. None of the sensors were triggered, and the windows were all locked, and there was no damages at all to the house. So investigators quickly realized that this was not a robbery, and there was no way for someone to enter from the outside of the home. They knew that the suspect had to already have been inside the home when Antonio and Donna was killed. Kyra, who was only 12 at the time, was asleep during the shooting, which they found that out because the dispatcher asked AJ on the phone if anyone else was in the house, and he said yeah, his sister. He actually walked to her bedroom to wake her up to bring her to safety, so they knew that Kyra was asleep at this time. So that left investigators to believe that 16-year-old AJ Armstrong was responsible. He was taken into custody and was questioned by the Houston Police Department the following morning. Now, when AJ went in for questioning, police expressed that he didn't even show emotions or cried when they asked him about his parents. So they really felt like that was weird, because if both of your parents are gone, you will be in total shock, you'll be crying, you'll be hysterical. But they felt like AJ wasn't, showing any form of emotion. He was really calm for the most part. So they asked AJ what was his relationship with his parents, and I'll insert some of the audio footage here.
Get along with your mom, get along with dad, no problems, no
Yeah, like really close. And then me and my mom, me, my brother, and my sister, had our, little issues with my mom, but it was never anything, serious,
So then they asked AJ about his older brother, Josh. Now, Josh did arrive at the scene right away because AJ had called Josh to let him know that his parents were killed.
You have an older brother that doesn't live there?
No, he's not. He just moved. He was going to Berlin, and he just moved back 3 weeks ago. He's going to the Art Institute now, and he lives in those apartments. Our house is here, and when you come out and make that left on Maple Ridge, he lives in those apartment complexes right there.
Okay, so right around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Okay, right around the corner. Now, how is his relationship with everybody in the family?
He's really, him and my dad are a really close group. We sit down and talk a lot. And then him and my mom are identical people. Their personalities are the same, so they're close. And then me and him are just have a really close brother relationship. And then my little sister loves him.
After that intense interview, investigators wanted to collect some DNA evidence to see if maybe fingerprints were on the gun or anything, in the house. Come to find out, there was no fingerprints on the gun or pen that was used to write the note. Now, they did find shell casing from the gun that was in the master bedroom and in AJ's bedroom. They also saw a bullet hole in the ceiling of the master bedroom, and on the top of that bedroom was AJ's room on the 3rd floor. So they asked AJ about his dad's gun and the bullet hole in the ceiling that was actually covered up with socks on AJ's floor, like it was being hidden. Investigators really felt like AJ was a suspect after finding out this new evidence. And they knew that the bullet holes weren't weeks prior from the incident because it pierced through the master bedroom ceiling. So Dawn and Antonio would have noticed these bullet holes.
You're explaining the way around that you shot through the floor 2 or 3 weeks ago when we've got fresh sheetrock on the ground and we've got a round still laying on the ground. Your parents use that room constantly. They're going to notice. If your dad's going to notice and he's got mark on the carpet, he's going to notice.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't make sense, because it wasn't in this past. I'm pretty sure it wasn't in the past week. If it wasn't this week, then it was last week.
And most importantly, Antonio Sir would have noticed the gun and bullets missing. Detectives quickly realized that AJ was possibly trying to set the house on fire, but really the 2nd floor. They also didn't ignore the pillows and blankets in AJ's room. They felt like AJ was practicing or doing a test run before taking his parents out. Now, AJ was arrested and charged for 2 counts of capital murder, but was later released and free on a $200,000 bond. AJ immediately lawyered up with his family support and made it known that he was innocent. Evidence came out that AJ didn't have gunpowder residue on his skin or clothing or blood splatter. So his defense team was banking hard on that piece of evidence. However, the forensic team did find some DNA on the notepad and the gun, and it actually matched to the DNA in the Armstrong family. But that DNA couldn't be pinned to anyone particular. So that DNA could have been anyone within the family. AJ stressed real hard to detectives that he saw a black man run out the house with a mask and that they should look at other suspects because he was innocent. Now, at this point, it was really hard for detectives to even pin anything on AJ because they didn't have hardcore evidence against him, and they were unsure if the information he was sharing was just to really throw them off. Detectives strongly believe that they had a case against AJ based off the evidence they found, but they didn't realize that this was going to be a very long try battle. AJ's grandparents on both sides, Dawn's parents and Antonio's parents, firmly believed that AJ was innocent. They stood firm on the fact that he would never try to kill his parents, so they were going to back up AJ to the very end. Now let's fast forward to 2019, and AJ is now 19 years old. All the attention was on AJ in the media all the way up to his trial. His defense attorneys really wanted to prove that AJ was innocent. They wanted Maxine Adam, a family friend, to take the stand and express Antonio Sir's involvement with her husband. She claimed that he was involved in a prostitution ring and her husband was also involved. They were connected to a lot of sketchy people in that business that wanted her husband and him gone, pretty much out of here. AJ's attorney wanted the charges against AJ to be dismissed after this new piece of evidence came out. Now, of course, this wasn't really something the Armstrong family wanted to find out about Antonio Sir, but if this was going to be used for AJ to avoid going to jail for the rest of his life, they were going to stand on it too. News also came out that the Armstrongs gym they owned was broken into weeks after their death. But this was dismissed as evidence to use for the killing of Donna and Antonio Sir, as well as the evidence from Maxine Adam. AJ's defense attorneys were sold on the idea that the state was really out, to get AJ and pretty much was against him. And they didn't give up to prove that AJ was innocent. So they started to put Josh Armstrong at the center of it all. Josh was diagnosed with schizophrenia and was in and out of the psychiatric facilities. He had thoughts of death and self-harm, so they pushed the narrative that Josh was mentally unstable. There was evidence used that Josh admitted to hearing voices in his head to kill, so the defense team was pushing that there was a huge possibility he was the one that killed his parents and not AJ. They pulled Josh's ex-girlfriend in, and she stated that Josh was home when she went to bed, but she's not sure if he stepped out. But she was awakened by him because he got a call from AJ that his parents were shot and he was in trouble. So he grabs, I believe, his shotgun and stormed out. She expressed that after his parents' death, he was dealing with a lot of things mentally and just dealing with grief. He became unstable. So he readmitted himself in a psychiatric facility to receive help. Kara was called to the stand too, and she shared that Josh was like a black sheep of the family because her and her brother had the same parents. So that was an issue he pretty much struggled with. She shared that, things got worse with Josh when he came back home from college. She also shared that the security systems in the house didn't always work. The defense team shared that the alarm system had multiple errors and it was something that should be taken into consideration. Now, employees of ADT, which owns the alarm system, expressed during trial that the alarm system indicated no one entered or exited the home leading up to and following the shooting. But there was a sensor on the second floor near Dawn and Antonio Sir's bedroom. It recorded movement between the third and second floor roughly 30 minutes before AJ called 911 to report an intruder in the home. So even after attention was shifted on Josh and Kara taking the stand and employees of ADT sharing critical information about the alarm system, the prosecution team was still focused on AJ being guilty. The prosecution team also shared text and email messages from AJ and his parents, and it was very apparent that AJ was struggling with being honest and with his behavior. Prosecutors read stacks of records from Donna and Antonio's cell phone records. All the text messages showed that AJ began to struggle in several classes in the fall of 2015. And emails revealed that AJ would often skip tutorial lessons and lie about his whereabouts when they asked him about it. His father expressed in a text sent on April 22nd, 2016, quote, "I am sick of getting reports about silly crap you are doing. Keep screwing up and doing silly things like speeding through the parking lot. I am trading your car for one that fits your maturity." Other exchanges consisted of emails forwarded from AJ's teachers to Antonio, and the emails accused AJ of failing to turn in assignments and also lying about attending basketball practice. AJ was then kicked out of his private school for failing as well. Donna shared in a text on June 2nd, 2016, "You flat out lied to me. Flat out lied. You did not go to basketball practice." Other messages included the couple accusing their son of smoking Mary Jane in the house, and AJ pretty much lied about it, claiming he was smoking a vaporizer instead. There were texts as well from Donna of expressing to Antonio, sir, that AJ was a bold-faced liar, something she's never seen before. 8 weeks before AJ's parents were murdered, he sent them a text message saying, "I'm not even going to try and say sorry for everything because right now I know it doesn't mean anything to you guys. I know I need a major life change." Donna responds and says, "We gave you all and the best we had. We wanted the best for you. We provided the best education, bought you a great car to celebrate you. We tried to be open with you and what was important to you. And all you do is lie to us. Choose to piss on all we tried to do. Beyond disappointed. I will never understand why you are a liar and do not work hard in school. You don't want to be right or do good. I am so heartbroken. But it is what it is." During this long trial, things did get emotional, especially for family and friends. AJ did show that he was struggling in court, especially when they showed pictures of his parents from the crime scene, and he never took the stand in his defense. In 2019, deliberations had ended with 2 deadlock notes to the judge regarding AJ's case. The jury was clearly having a hard time trying to come up with a solid decision if AJ was guilty or not. His case was then declared as a mistrial and was on a pause due to the pandemic. So now we fast forward to 2022 with AJ being now 23 years old and also a father to a baby boy named Hendrix Antonio Armstrong. The mother of his child, who was also his high school sweetheart, stood by him for years, and she testified in his defense in 2022. Now, during this trial, AJ's defense team doubled back again to really focus on Josh Armstrong. They felt that Josh should be fully responsible for the death of Donna and Antonio, sir. They pulled out medical records proving from Josh, and it showcased that, out of his own words, he witnessed his parents being murdered. But the prosecution team ruled that statement out because of his mental health issues. The prosecution team also broke down the small details leading up to AJ calling 911. The alarm was set at 9:52 p.m. by Kara. AJ was texting his high school sweetheart until 1 a.m. and he placed his phone on a charger in his room after. Around 1:08 a.m., AJ picked his phone up from the charger, but he didn't use his phone. Around 1:09 a.m. and 1:10 a.m., the sensor from the alarm system picked up motion. The second floor where Donna and Antonio's bedroom was. A few minutes after that sensory, AJ's phone screen was being turned off and on multiple times with no activity, giving off ambient light, possibly the light on the cell phone to see around the house because it was dark. And within that time frame, Donna and Antonio was shot with Antonio's gun. Now, around the time they were shot, that was the only time AJ wasn't active on his cell phone. After around 1:40 a.m., 911 was called by AJ. The living room sensor was then activated a few minutes after, and the prosecution team assumed that's when the gun and note was left on the kitchen island, and AJ went to clean himself up and the evidence. The front door was activated around 1:57 a.m., and AJ turned off the alarm to let police in. The system detected the kitchen door opening right when the officers arrived at the scene and walked inside the house. The prosecution team also pointed out that AJ complained about a loud ringing in his ear when he called 911.
And there's this amazing thing is if you fire a gun without ear protection, something happens to your ears. That wouldn't happen if you're in another room. The whole reason why we have ear protection is there's like a high pitch or a ringing that goes on in your ears. When the dispatcher asked him, do you hear any noises, what does A.J. Armstrong say?
Okay, can you hear anything else that's going on?
And it's not even like he's talking to her. He's whispering it slowly low to himself. He's saying, it's high pitched in my ears. This one statement is a confession. There's only one reason why you would have a high pitch in your ears is because you just fired a firearm inside of a home.
The prosecution team really focused on the small details regarding AJ and this case. They brought attention to the fact that AJ shared with police hours later that he saw a man running outside of the house. But during the phone call to 911, he only shared that his parents' bedroom door was cracked open and they never leave it open.
Now he's going down the stairs and he sees someone coming, but it's more.
Wait, did you physically see somebody?
No, I saw him running. I saw him running.
Now he sees someone running. You would think during a 16-minute 911 call, if he really saw someone running, he would have said, ma'am, I saw someone running in my house. Please get here. My sister's down the hallway. Wouldn't he? Wouldn't he have said, someone's here, please? My sister is down the hallway. I see him running that way. But he doesn't do that. But to homicide investigators, if you're the only one in the house, if you're the one that committed murder, you've got to invent somebody. We all know from movies, the one-armed man, that's what this is like.
Around November 2022, the jury deadlocked, putting this case at a pause a second time. And this time, the jury was favoring that AJ was more on the innocent side than guilty. This left the prosecution team feeling irritated because with AJ's story and the evidence they had, they felt like he was being very dishonest. The state of Texas made a decision to trial AJ Armstrong for a third time, and it was scheduled to be held on February 24th, 2023. The judge announced recently around June 2023 that this case will be delayed until July 31st, 2023. If AJ is found guilty, I do believe he will be facing 40 years to life in prison with no parole. This case has been dragging on for 7 long years and faced numerous delays, hearing resets, and unexpected turns. I really hope the truth comes out in a few weeks. Now, when it comes to AJ Armstrong, opinions are actually divided. Some people think he's guilty. He had a clear plan to kill his parents because they were disciplining him more, especially his mother. And while others believe he's innocent and will never do something so evil, they feel like, it's more based on the fact that he's a black man and he's, going through the fire right now. So a lot of people are back and forth. Some think he's guilty, some think he's innocent. So guys, feel free to comment below and share your thoughts, but please be respectful. The case is still ongoing, so hopefully we'll learn the truth very soon. Now, I do want to pray for the family. Most importantly, I really want Donna and Antonio, sir, to receive justice at the end of the day, because they both were murdered in cold blood. And whoever did it, I do believe God will judge them accordingly. And I pray the truth comes out. I'm also really praying for healing and peace for the family, because I'm sure it's tough emotionally and mentally for something like this to keep on dragging. Not only, do they have to deal with losing Donna and Antonio, but they also have to go through this long trial that, Agent Armstrong is going through right now. So I'm just praying for justice for this family and the truth. Whatever is in the dark will always come to light. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this case. Comment below, and don't forget to keep the family in your prayers. Please stay safe out here, and I'll see you next time.